Hello everyone, this is Ron again with Strangely Normal, and today I am looking at a game that I played a lot of, at least the shareware demo version of it as a kid. I don't think was very well known, and kind of got a bit of a bad rap because it's a first-person shooter in sort of a fantasy vein on that. And that game that I'm looking at, as you're seeing right there, is Heretic. I'm going to get into this here, try and get some of this noise off. Okay. Now there's not quite so much stuff going on. I'm just going to talk about the game a little bit. This game was first released in 1994. It was only available for shareware or mail-in order. I played a lot of the shareware. This game is it's basically like Fantasy Doom. Developed by Raven Software and published by id. The game itself actually uses a modified version of the Doom engine. However, it did actually do some things that were quite innovative at the time, and even some things that became kind of staples in the genre here. Let me see here. And this game, when it was released, was only originally available by mail-in order, which probably didn't help it gain any popularity on that. However, in 1996, there was something released called Heretic: Shadow of the Serpent Riders, and that contained it was an expansion pack, contained a bunch more levels, and had the original game in it as well. And as a result, that was probably how many people sort of played the game on that. And with that, the game itself did eventually have kind of two sequels. They sort of branch a little bit. There was one sequel called Hexen, which did some neat things as well. It was kind of like a different branch in the same sort of universe. And then there was a direct sequel called Heretic 2, which was released in 1998. And then as you're seeing here, I'm actually playing this. The game itself plays just like Doom. If you ever played the original Doom, you'll be right at home in this game. Works exactly like it. And in fact, the weapons are basically fantasy analogs of the Doom weapons. This wand I have here, basically the pistol. Pretty much functions the same, and does about the same kind of thing there. The enemies, though, are a little bit different. The ones I'm fighting right now, those like imps you saw me shooting earlier, and these zombie guys, these are actually earlier versions, or actually weaker versions of them. And later on, they start like throwing fireballs at you, and these zombies eventually start shooting flaming skulls at you. It's kind of neat. Now, I played this a little bit earlier before I started filming here, but I played this level a ton as a kid. I know it pretty well, so there's actually a secret over there, but I want to kill this dude first. This game, still a lot of fun. I mean, it's basically just a reskin of Doom here. And just kill these guys, and then I'll go pick up those gauntlets that were behind him. Those gauntlets are called the Gauntlets of the Necromancer. And basically, they're just like the chainsaw from Doom. And they work pretty well. They're kind of handy. I'll break them out real quick here to help me save some ammo. See, they function exactly like the chainsaw in Doom. One thing that this game did do that nothing else really did at the time, and that has since kind of become a thing that in some games you kind of need, and was used in a lot of very classic games, is actually inventory management. I'll pick up an item here, I think, in a little bit, and I'll show you. Well, actually, right there's my actual inventory screen. I don't have anything, but there are actual items you can pick up and use. Things that change your weapons, increase their power, give you light, little like health flasks, even like some bombs and stuff. And they're kind of handy. And just blow up this guy here. Not blow him up, just kill him. This game, overall, I actually feel is it's actually more difficult than Doom. Tends to throw a lot more enemies at you at once, and the enemies tend to hit fairly hard too. Even the weaker ones, they can easily hit you for 10 or 20 life, and that can be a lot in these games. Where's that other guy here? And then in terms of graphics, I mean, you know, it's Doom style graphics. It still looks decent enough. Still plays pretty well. Let's see, there's a secret in here. Okay. Oh, that's the ethereal crossbow. It's basically this game's version of the shotgun from Doom. The major difference in this is the ammo for it is a lot more rare. And as such, when I usually get it, I usually try to not use it right away. Because I do end up needing it. I'm not going to use it right now. I'm going to need to use it in probably the second level. We'll probably get to that. This first level goes by fairly quickly. Oh, here we go. This item here, it's a Toma Power. This is actually a pretty neat little item, because it doesn't just up the damage of your weapons, it actually changes what they do. Basically, it in effect it almost sort of doubles the number of weapons you have, because those changes sometimes lead to drastically different results. One of them turns into a weapon that shoots out mines. It turns the pistol into like a shotgun sort of thing. Turns the crossbow that shoots out even more powerful bolts. Okay. Let's drop down here and kill these guys here. This is a zombie dude around this corner. About 3 of them. Actually, when I was playing this earlier, I actually used the crossbow here. Trying not to right now, just trying to conserve a little bit of ammo. Because there's a guy up here that I'm most definitely going to want to use the crossbow on. Simply because of the tight quarters. This guy right here. These are armored skeletons that throw axes at you. I think those are possibly some of the coolest enemies I've ever fought in FPS. They're pretty tough too. I made it look pretty easy, but they can really cause you some hurt really quickly on that if you don't know how to take them down. Okay, I think I'm just about done with this level here. Yep. I'm gonna finish this off, and then I'll probably do the second one. The second level is a bit lengthy, and then I'll probably end it. And then your typical end screen for these kind of games here on this. I actually improved my time by about 30 seconds. But anyway, now I'm in the dungeons, and yeah, I've been using my wand a lot. Okay. And actually, just to kind of showcase this, I'm using my Toma Power, and see here how it actually changes what this weapon does when it fires. Makes it more powerful. Really comes in handy for making some of these weak weapons a little bit more powerful, or just getting different effects. Okay. Then also one thing I do like about this game, and this is something I generally like about pretty much all the original Doom games and the games like that, is the level design is, I always thought, very well done. I mean this game has got a big open area here. I'm out of magic wand. I'll shoot him in the face. Okay. Now that's where I want to go, but I'm going to do a little bit of exploring out here first. Pick up some things I'm going to need. And one thing that this game also did that was kind of one of the first of its kind is this game, you can actually look up and down. I don't know what the down button is, but... Oh, there we go. But you can actually look up and down. It doesn't really affect the gameplay at all. It's not like you really have to aim, as I've been showing you. But it's kind of neat to see that and actually know that this game did that. This area coming up here, this is an interesting area. This room coming up. I see, there's these zombie guys. What you don't know? Is that in the back there? There's some skeletons throwing axes. And if you don't know that they're there, they can put some hurt on you fast. Okay, now this area, I know this area. This is when you grab this crossbow, this part back here opens up and then some guys come out here. I'm not handling this as well as I could. And then these guys come out. Okay, these guys are tough, and if you don't know how to handle them, now see, this game, one thing I'm not really talking about a lot is the controls, because as I said earlier, it's fantasy Doom. It controls just like the original Doom. The controls are exactly the same. Yeah, that I always thought was kind of funny, because in a lot of those things where the monsters just kind of pop out, usually that, but in this game, there's just like another room behind it. Kind of fun to just and the game does a lot of stuff like that too. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, see, I try not to use those ethereal crossbow ammo too much, simply because it is actually a lot rarer than you think it is, and you can burn through that super quickly without even realizing it. And if you do that, then when you hit like a really tough enemy and you don't have any, you get screwed big time. Claw orbs. These are ammo for a different weapon, which I will actually be getting shortly. It's a weapon called the Dragon Claw. It's kind of like this game's version of the chain gun. This is like this claw that goes over your hand. Like I said, I'll be getting that shortly here. I do believe I need to go back out. I forgot if there was anything in there. Oh yes, there's actually an item in there that I need that comes in handy later on in the level. And this would be the torch. And then that switch, as far as I can tell, it actually activates the ability to get the Dragon Claw weapon, which I will be doing, and also opens this up. See? Another thing full of guys here. Well, and stuff like this is always funny because if you know what you're doing, it's really not that bad. But like if it's like your first time playing it, it catches you off guard. And this item here, this quartz flask, it's basically like a med kit that you can carry with you. It heals you some when you use it. Now that I have some items, I can actually show you the inventory screen with some stuff in it. See there, I can switch between them and all that. Okay. So this is the Dragon Claw right here. This is basically a chain gun. I'm going to get the ammo for it here too as well. Which is going to take just a couple tries here, but it's very doable. I'll mess around with this some. Okay. I believe I got the yellow key, which opens up this. And then over here is this guy. See, this is basically, it's just basically a machine gun. What's interesting to note about the weapons in this game, though, is there is not an analog to the BFG from the first game, or not from the first game, from Doom. On that, the ultimate weapon in this game is actually more closely resembles the rocket launcher from Doom, which I thought was kind of interesting. Now see those green balls back there? They're basically like the radioactive barrels from Doom. They do the exact same thing. That gives you a good idea. Load them up there. Now over here, some of these dudes. Now see, the interesting thing to know about those axes that they throw The red and green ones, they don't just look different. They actually deal different amounts of damage. The green ones hurt you less than the red ones. And that can be important if you're kind of in a situation where like where you think you're going to kind of be stuck taking a hit. You really want to make sure you avoid those. Yeah, this is sort of a secret area. More gauntlets of the necromancer. I already have them, so I don't. So if I go pick up with them again, it doesn't do anything. Okay, and then these are basically like mines. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can just. See, I actually managed to take down that skeleton with them. They're kinda useful. They can be kinda neat to have. But overall, it's really more of a niche sort of thing. But I mean, it's just kinda neat to be able to do something like that with them, and actually have that kind of weapon in an FPS. Well, not a weapon, just an item like that. Got that. Yeah, that map scroll. Just for the map. Just shows the map to you right there. Okay, and then I need to go over here, actually. I'm just trying to blow those up now, rather than do it later. And that, it's radioactive goop, basically. It hurts you when you walk over it. Full up on this ammo. I'm probably going to be using this for a little while then. Now see, when using this crossbow, especially on these guys, I try to be careful about how I do it because I don't want to waste ammo. See, blew all of them up because they were in there. And then here, you just gotta sprint through, you get both of those, no problem. So if you go too slow, that comes down and crushes you. Now see, that red axe hit me, dealt me a lot of damage. So I'm going to use this quartz flask just to show you what it does real quick. See, healed me up some. Pretty useful. There's actually 2 zombies here on that. It's actually, they are at each of the corners here, and I'm just going around getting each one here. The other one wandered off. And there's the green key card and another Tome of Power. Probably making use of that shortly here. The Tomes of Power I tend to like jealously guard and try to avoid using sometimes. It really depends upon, you know, the situation I'm going up against, because they are kind of rare. Okay. This opens up this. I head up out here, and then actually out here is another secret that I'm going to try and nab. Yeah, see, the game does stuff like that all the time. I've played this level a bunch, so I knew that was coming. I knew to back up. Okay. And another thing that was neat about this game was the soundtrack. I mean, it was still a MIDI soundtrack, but it was just a little bit different. And I need to sprint down here. There's actually a secret I'm going to try and get. See if I come over here. See this section that was down earlier? That was up, or I was able to come down and get on that and grab that stuff. Can be pretty helpful. You just get some ammo and whatnot. Got the green key card. I think the green key card. Oh, this is where I'm going to want the torch. I'm not going to use it just yet. There's a reason why. I kill these guys. Everything's fine, yeah. And then I grab this blue key card. Bam, everything goes dark. You really want to have the torch available. actually gives me yeah, see, that's the ethereal crossbow with the Toma power. It fires 3 major bolts instead of just a 1. It has like more shots. Pretty useful on that. And then that thing I picked up was basically a backpack full of ammo, increased my ammo count on that as well. Got the blue key card, which means I need to go back to where the yellow key card area was. My health is low. There we go, got that back up. This game, especially later on, there are some areas where it gets quite tough. They throw a lot of guys at you. Really make you work for the victory in some of these levels here. And also, and this was the second level. This is actually pretty large, believe it or not. But you know, it's very expansive, very nice, very cool to go around into. The end. Alright, and with that, I'm gonna call it on this episode. Probably at about the 20-minute mark or so right now. Yeah, it would be on that. But yeah, that's my look at Heretic. It's a neat little game. As I said, it did have 2 sequels. They were kind of branched off a little bit on that. But as for anything recent, haven't heard anything in years. Don't think anything is ever going to happen. They're kind of done with it. Although I would really like to see more games like this, or more like shooter games with like a fantasy vibe to them. That era of gaming was short, but I thought when done right, it was actually a lot of fun and really interesting to watch. So that is this week's episode, everyone. I will see all of you next week, and you all know the drill. You know, leave a comment, like it, Facebook, Twitter, email, all that stuff will be in the description. Alright, once again, thank you, and I will talk to all of you next week.